Yo, it is a heat advisory day outside today on the 25th, but not because of the temperature, but because of the straight bars I'm about to spit. Super Mario Sunshine. Yo, more like Super Mario Sunshine. Sorry, I actually just couldn't think of anything. Anyways, actual intro. What I was meant to say there, it's a heat advisory day outside, so I have my fan on pretty loud. I don't think it's coming through the mic, but in case the mic quality seems a little worse or something, it's probably because of noise reduction stuff happening. Anyways. Here's the goal for today. I don't know what the goal is. Okay, so here's the context. I had originally uploaded this video right here on November 10th. Barrels are broken. Super Mario Sunshine's Experiments. This was the second ever episode of Super Mario Sunshine Experiments I ever made. It was a part one of a two-parter. This is the part two on November 23rd, so 2 weeks later, just about. As it turned out, I made some like research errors and among other things. So I decided to take these two videos down and remake them into one more compact video that's actually shorter than part two, but it has like basically all of the information of these two parts combined, and that is Barrels Are Crazy, Super Mario Sunshine Experiments. Do you like what I do with the titles? Barrels are broken, barrels are insane, barrels are crazy. So before recording this, I decided to watch through each of these. Here's the thing. I have information and details that would make sense watching like this one or this one, but not watching this one. At the same time, this one, because it's a remake, pretty much goes over a lot of the same like treaded ground of these two videos. So it might be a little repetitive. However, I actually am going to watch each one of these for today. I have decided right now. I say let's start chronologically. Let's start with the very first one. Barrels Are Broken, Super Mario Sunshine Experiments. And right before we begin, drink check. Got my water, ice water, and a nice lukewarm Diet Dr. Pepper. Let's get into this block rockin' beat. How about it? Oh, yeah. So usually there's like YouTube DRM that keeps you from capturing stuff, but I guess because it's my own videos, the DRM isn't enabled or something, or maybe something's broken because of YouTube doing weird stuff with ad blockers or whatever. I don't really know. What I do know is that I can now record straight off of YouTube, so I don't have to download these videos. Which means I get to use the more robust features of YouTube's like playback and stuff. So that's a win-win. Let's go.
A few days ago, I uploaded a video about Super Mario Sunshine that basically goes over how Mario
Okay, wait,
a few
already
days
something?
ago.
This is the old channel screen. Angry_Max, comedic gaming and various gaming thoughts. All of this handmade. This, okay, so the original, like, sword logo design, I made this, like, sword in, like, I don't know, dude. It's probably, like, 16 when I made this sword, or whatever. But I just, like, made it as, like, a weird, like, art thing. Never did anything with it. And then when I started doing YouTube, like, a couple years after that, I just decided to repurpose this, like, weird sword design I made for just, like, out of inspiration reasons, I guess. So that's what the old logo used to be, and this is like the really old, like bad version of the logo, that ugly green, no outlines, so that you can't really like read the username, anything. Also, the quaint 22 subscribers. Here we are at 1.74K. As we can go. Thank you guys. You can also see stuff I did before Super Mario Sunshine. Let me know, by the way, if you guys want to see like an episode of creator commentaries where I kind of like speed run through like either like one of my old series, like unlisted series. It's kind of like going back into the Angry Max vault. Yeah, anyways, let's go.
I uploaded a video about Super Mario Sunshine that basically goes over how Mario interacts with shine sprites in unique situations. At the end of that video, I made a statement saying I was 98% sure Mario could collect a shine sprite that's above a barrel. To be more specific, the shine sprite would be above water that's normally 2D.
Also, already big improvement. I'm using music in this video. I didn't in the original Shine Sprites Experiments. Just to reiterate, because the timeline might be confusing, because I first did a creator commentaries on Shine Sprite Experiments, then decided to do a creator commentary on the file select screen. So the timeline here is that I did Shine Sprites Experiments, Barrels Experiments 1, Barrels Experiments 2, file select, and then I unlisted Barrels Experience 1, Barrels Experience 2, and re-uploaded it as Barrels Redux. That's the order there. That's why this is the third creator commentary, because in terms of upload order of if you actually go to my channel, the Barrels Shine Sprite Experiments video, now the only one that's public, that is like the order. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that sentence didn't make sense, but you probably got what I was saying.
For Mario to stand in, the idea here being that Mario could stand on the barrel. And just for some context, in case you haven't seen the last video or don't remember,
return of not cutting out spaces in between my sentences.
If Mario touches the Shine Sprite, but then
Just
starts
wasting
to swim
everyone's
before
time.
touching any ground, then the Shine Get animation gets cancelled, so Mario doesn't ever actually collect the Shine Sprite. There's a little bit more to that, so if you're curious, go watch that video. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. I couldn't get a working barrel to spawn into the game for the last video, mostly due to my own stupidity. So the best I could do was guess how the barrel would work. Little did I know, the relationship between barrels and Shine Sprites would lead me down a rabbit hole filled with water.
Fell down a rabbit hole full of water, glitches, and predictably barrels.
Glitches, and predictably barrels.
Keep that line in mind. Also, look at this. This like title screen. Super Mario Sunshine Barrel Edition. Awesome. With the default font in Adobe Premiere Rush.
So the first thing I got to
oh, ew. The music at the top left, the title. I didn't put a space after the dash
once I
or
could
before the
successfully
dash.
spawn in barrels was trying to collect a Shine Sprite with a barrel underneath Mario on land.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, things didn't look too promising from the start. See for yourself. As you can see, I was having a good bit of trouble getting Mario to stand on a barrel. But I kept trying, and eventually, I got Mario to clip into the barrel after collecting the shine. Much like what happens when Mario collects a shine over a nozzle box. Now, this is where things started to take an interesting turn for me.
Mm-hmm.
I decided that even though I didn't get Mario to collect the shine on top of the barrel and land, that I was going to try it in the water.
I'm pretty sure, okay, so this clip, it's like slightly slowed down. I'm pretty sure I recorded the clip. It wasn't long enough for like this part of the video, so I just slowed it down.
I didn't get Mario to collect the shine on top of the barrel and land, that I was going to try it in the water. Don't ask me about
even though I'm literally just looking at a Shine Sprite. It would have taken probably like 60 seconds to record.
And that because I'm not even too sure myself. To get the barrel where I wanted it in the water, I had to use the glitch to get Mario to walk under the water. This glitch involves Mario placing a barrel at just the right height in water so he can pick it up even though he is swimming. For some reason, this allows Mario to walk underwater. This is also where I accidentally discovered a similar but different glitch.
This is actually super interesting.
If you get a barrel to be placed down so its top is just under the surface of the water, then walk Mario straight into it, you can just walk underwater.
Yeah, okay. So one thing, I actually cracked this in the part 2. One thing I forgot to mention here, you have to already be glitched underwater to place the barrel in the right spot. So that barrel that's placed right there that Mario just walked into, that was placed from already underwater. And so that's why I was pretty sure I'm the first person to find that glitch. And I still am wondering if I am. I mean, I haven't seen anything that suggests otherwise, but you know, I'm open to the possibility somebody else discovered it before me, obviously. Yeah, so it's just a little like complicated to set up, and why would you really set it up unless you're doing very specific things like I am here? I don't even remember how I exactly discovered it. I just probably did on accident, but it actually ended up being useful because during my tests, I wanted to keep going, you know, from the surface back underwater over and over again. I just have a barrel I can walk into and get underwater, and it's very easy.
I'm unsure if this glitch has already been discovered and documented separately.
Don't use MarioWiki.com as an all-inclusive resource for anything Super Mario Sunshine, because it's not.
But this was my first time ever seeing it happen, and I couldn't find anything about it online.
Okay, so we're actually going to see a theme as we progress from video to video here. And it's that, for me, there was a lesson being learned throughout all of this, which is how to do research in the Super Mario Sunshine community. that's the sort of TLDR through line. So I would just think, oh, I need to look for Super Mario Sunshine glitches. Well, I'm gonna look up Super Mario Sunshine glitches. When the case actually is that there is no organized place for all of Super Mario Sunshine's glitches. MarioWiki.com is actually probably the closest place to that, but you know, it's far from all inclusive. Because how could you? Super Mario Sunshine has just too many glitches and too many complicated glitches as well, just to like put in a wiki easily. Anyways, yeah. Very loud truck driving by right now. Oh, it's the garbage truck. So as this truck is driving by and probably making noise, I don't know. Maybe the mic isn't picking it up. Do you want to hear one of the most like third world problems ever? I'm getting so sidetracked right now, but so for the longest time, Mondays was pull out trash can, recycling can. Okay? Easy enough. But then they decided to stagger the days so that garbage on Mondays, recycling on Tuesdays. You know how hard that is for someone like me to remember? I can barely remember. Like if my birthday wasn't like on such an easy to remember day, which is August 8th, 8/8. I turned 8 on 8/8/08. I was born in 2000, so yeah, I turned 8 2008, August 8th, 8/8/08. If my birthday wasn't on such an easy day to remember, I probably wouldn't even remember it. Like I just don't retain like information like that. Okay, the garbage truck is gone now and I'm rambling about like actually literally nothing relevant. Let's continue.
It happened, and I couldn't find.
I need to disconnect and reconnect my AirPods. By the way, I just want to say, AirPods, I got them for free. My father got them as a work gift or something like that, and this was right recently after my headphones broke. I was like, hey, can I take them? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I've been using these AirPod Pros for like close to 2 years now, I think. They are so freaking annoying to use on Windows. I swear to God. They just randomly stop working. You have to disconnect them, reconnect them. So in the last 2 episodes of creator commentaries, if there's a like kind of like a weird cut where I press play or all of a sudden maybe the video is like actually rewound a little bit, so we're rewatching like, you know, a second or two of video, that's why. It's because I tried watching the video, I couldn't hear it. I had to go disconnect and reconnect my AirPods, rewind the video. Don't remember exactly what frame it was on, so I just press play and we go. So that if there's any like weird cuts like that, that is why. As I was saying before the garbage truck drove by and actually probably didn't get picked up by the mic, there is no like centralized place for all Super Mario Sunshine's glitches. The closest thing is either here on the Mario Wiki or on the Sunshine Discord. Speedrun Discord, and between the Sunshine Speedrun Discord actually and the modding Discord, it's not easy to find a lot of Sunshine's archived information. You kind of just like absorb a lot of it over time being in the community, and I had barely been in the community at this point. That's what this series actually taught me, is how to get all of that information. Anyways, moving on, finally.
Anything about it online.
I have to disconnect and reconnect them.
This was my first time ever seeing it happen, and I couldn't find anything about it online. It may be strange, but this is only where the strangeness began.
Awesome delivery, man.
The first thing I noticed when trying to get the barrel placed down beneath the shine sprite was that for the barrel to place down at the height I wanted it, I would need to place it when Mario is facing down the slope.
But why did I say
That's
that so weird?
If it was placed facing up the slope, Mario would either just break the barrel, or the barrel would be placed semi-sunk into the ground.
I literally didn't care about how
shocking discovery for me, but it
lines
was
were delivered back then.
After a few more attempts than I would like to admit, trying to place the barrel just under the shine sprite, I finally did just that. I got the barrel almost
To be fair, I was playing on keyboard.
perfectly under the shine. I made a save state, then jumped up to collect the shine, only to be pushed off the barrel and into the water. I tried it again and again, but to no avail. I would either just fall through the barrel into the water, or get pushed off like before. To be honest, I'm not really super sure what I was expecting. If I couldn't get it to work on land, how would I make it work in the water? It was at this point I was starting to give up hope, and realizing that my previous confidence of being able to collect a shine on a...
Okay. Rewatching this, I was actually surprised. There's a bit more of an effort on like storytelling and such in these barrel videos than I thought there would be. So if you remember right, Shine Sprite's experiments is just straight facts. There's no storytelling. It's just fact after fact after fact. File select video, which is after the barrel videos, was when I was trying to like add in my own like story elements to videos to help with like pacing or whatever. That's like the whole like Yoshi thing. Like, oh hey, I tried spawning in Yoshi and then it didn't work. And then later in the video, oh guess what? I actually did get it to work. Awesome storytelling there, man. Here, this video actually has like a lot more organic storytelling type of stuff, which I find super interesting. Or it's almost like a gameplay video in that sense, like me commentating over like Heizo or something, you know. Here are the attempts of what I did, and then here's where I finally got it to work. Except these are like experiments, so in Kaizo you expect there to be an ending, a satisfying ending to getting a shine or whatever. Here, I literally just don't know if there is, because it's not a designed challenge.
In the water was perhaps misplaced. But then this happened.
Okay. If I wanted to do a summoning salt, but then this happened or whatever, I haven't watched a summoning salt video in a while, so I don't actually remember what his voice sounds like. But if I wanted to do that, then I should have committed to it instead of going, and then this happened. Like, where's the excitement, man?
Then this happened.
That's a recreation of me figuring out, by the way, because I wasn't recording when I figured out you could actually stand on the barrel collision, but it's skewed. Okay, well, that cup just went on way too long.
So at first,
Loud.
I wasn't really sure what was going on here. Obviously, somehow the barrel's collision had been skewed from where it was supposed to be. Except
Correct.
that Mario could still pick up the barrel from where you'd expect him to be able to. And Mario still couldn't just walk through the barrel.
This is before I really understood that barrel is made up of two types of collision. The geometry type of collision and then like the entity collision. Or the T-hit actor collision for those of you who are more into the technical side of Sunshine. Those of you who don't know what the difference actually is, it's basically and I think I've explained this in past creator commentaries or maybe in a video or something, I don't remember, but the gist of it is that there's like collision of like actual geometry that Mario can stand on, wall slide against, slide on, all of that. And then there's like the collision of things that just push Mario away but are not actually like walls or floors or anything. So like piantas, you can't like wall slide on a pianta, you can't stand on a pianta, but they still push Mario away if you walk into them.
For some reason, it was only the barrel's top collision that was misplaced. While this was both exciting and weirdly fulfilling, I still had an agenda to figure out how to get the collision skewed. Now, I went through a few theories before realizing what was really going on. My first assumption for the barrel's wonkiness was that it was because the barrel was under a shine sprite, which for some reason was somehow moving the floor collision of the barrel. But I knew that didn't make very much sense, so I moved the barrel out from under the shine to see that yes, its collision was still messed up. From there, I had two theories. Either the barrel was acting strange because it was underwater, or because it was on a slope. So, I went to a dry slope in Viola. The collision was still messed up after placing the barrel down. So my theory had been proven correct. It was the slope that was causing the barrel's top
This is why controls are important.
collision to become mismatched. Or was it? That was my running theory for a while, but as it turns out, slopes have nothing to do with the glitch. Neither does water
For
shine sprites.
a series at the time, 2-part series, the Cold Salt Sunshine experiments, I'm not actually really doing anything scientifically or within the scientific method.
As it turns out, the barrel's glitchy.
And I would learn from this experience why you do things the scientific method, or, you know, loosely. I still don't really do things the scientific method, but nowadays I don't ever really have theories. It's usually the stuff I find out is a lot more straightforward than with this. I episode, the barrels episode. And part of that is because I just understand how the game works a lot better. So
collision,
because I'm not really doing experiments anymore. I'm just kind of learning things.
only shows itself after Mario places down the barrel on any surface. The key here is that Mario has to pick up and place the barrel down. Its top collision will only skew once the barrel has been picked up from where it spawns, then placed back down. This
Yes, always skews towards Mario's position when placing down the barrel.
was surprisingly simpler than I thought.
A very interesting thing with this is that to this day, so this is 3 years ago, I still haven't heard about this glitch from anywhere else. Like, I know other people know it exists, and I know I wasn't the first person to find it, but no one talks about this glitch for some reason. Like, I don't know why. Bizarre.
So this seemed like a pretty conclusive ending.
So that's why to this day I still call it my own name, the BCS, or barrel collision skew, by the way.
How to make barrels behave, or rather misbehave, in this odd manner. But there were still a few more tests I wanted to do with the barrels, and oh boy, did this become chaos.
Also met it, man.
So the first thing I tried was getting a barrel on one of the fruit boats that sail around the plaza. There was nothing sophisticated to this interaction, however, and they just immediately broke upon being placed. But
I like that sentence. There's nothing sophisticated to this interaction, however, as the barrels broke immediately after being placed.
I had one more idea in mind, to take the barrels to a secret level. So I did just that. Bianco Hills' own hillside secret.
Yeah, so that's one of those things. I had one more idea, to take the barrels to a secret level. So I did just that. The "so I did just that" is actually implied if I just leave it out. So all that does is waste time in the video's runtime.
Secret seemed like a
Which means wasting everyone's time watching the video, even mine now.
pretty perfect area to bring the barrels. Man, that was a tongue twister. Bianco Hills' own hillside secret. Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, it's Bianco Hills cave side secret.
There were plenty of moving
Or
objects,
hillside cave secret, or I don't know, man.
all in different varieties. And this decision.
Wait, it was just on screen. Yeah, the hillside cave secret.
Man, that was a tongue twister. Bianco Hills' own hillside secret. Say that 10 times fast. There were plenty of moving objects, all in different varieties, and this decision would not disappoint. Naturally, the first object I tested placing barrels on top of was the first moving platform of the stage, which is one of 3 similar platforms that move from right to left. To my complete surprise, I could place the barrel down, and normally too. It didn't break, nor did anything odd happen. So then I decided to pick up the barrel again.
Okay, that's also another like implicit thing. I placed on the barrel, nothing odd happened. I don't have to also say it didn't break or move or anything. However, I can actually in this case see the case for that sentence to be there as more of like a flair to the video. Not every sentence has to be just information. Sometimes you can add sentences to kind of help with the flow or the flair, the script, stuff like that. Style.
Nor did anything odd happen. So then I decided to pick up the barrel again and place it in a different spot on the same platform. And the result didn't disappoint. The barrel suddenly teleported from Mario to a position up and away from where it's supposed to be. And just to be clear, this isn't merely a graphical bug, the barrel is actually there. And to my even more surprise, this is a consistent bug.
Yeah, I remember being gobsmacked at this. I thought I discovered something like crazy.
So I was originally going to go over the specifics of how these.
Okay, this is really weird. My microphone quality actually is noticeably like worse here. I don't think it's because I lost my pop filter. So here, like, let me take off my pop filter here. Is my voice, does my voice sound really different? Actually, I don't know. I've never done anything like this. I don't think my voice probably sounds that much different. Maybe the fan is coming through more. Pop filters are the most annoying thing too, because they get all types of like dust and hair on them, and it's really hard to clean off. Like you have to like individually pick at them. Oh man, it's annoying. Okay, I'm gonna put it back on now. Anyways, the mic I was using at the time wasn't this mic, it was a headset mic. The microphone will be right up close to my mouth, so part of what I'm wondering is if the pop filter was actually just kind of slightly muffling my voice and therefore it was clipping less or something. Maybe I had my fan on and like noise cancellation on or something. I don't know why the microphone quality here actually sounds worse.
These barrels behave with these moving platforms and such. Every time I get
Part of it too is that I'm just like shifting and moving around in my chair a bunch.
theory that seemed to possibly explain what was happening, it's a new weird thing would throw a wrench into my understanding. So for now, I'm going to call this video where it's at. All this is incredibly intriguing to me, and expect a part 2 for this video to come out soonish, maybe a month or 2 at most. So if that's something you're interested in seeing, be sure to subscribe
like
if
a
you
week
haven't
later.
already, and leave a like if you found this interesting. Because with the size of my channel, every like really does count. Anyways, that's good.
Every like counts no matter the size, I like to say.
Bianco Hills' his own hillside secret. 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 Bianco Hills' his own
Awesome. Okay, that's me in 2020. Let's see if I've gotten any better. I'll get some water first. We'll be doing the original challenge where I forgot the word cave. Bianco Hills' own hillside secret. 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 My tongue wasn't really getting twisted there. Also, Angry Max recommended reveal. You can see I like watching Dragon Ball content. Risk of Rain 2. Minecraft, a lot of Hermitcraft. I've been watching a lot of Hermitcraft lately. This guy's cool. His name, it's, I think, Ganesh. I don't know. Anyways, distractions aside, let's now move on to episode 2.
Last we left off with
Good start. The Rico Harbor.
this mini barrel saga, I left you guys on a bit of a cliffhanger. That is, I left the final
Some
glitch of the
thumbnail.
video a bit ambiguous, mostly due to my own lack of knowledge and
whispering
understanding to what was really going on. And while the barrel teleportation glitch, which I have a better nickname for later in the video, still has a few mysteries.
The barrel teleportation glitch, which I have a better name for later in the video. By the way, that better name is the barrel displacement glitch. Is that a better name? You just changed one word. I guess it's because I call it the BDG. I'm pretty sure this is how I remember it going. First name that came to my mind was barrel teleportation glitch. BTG didn't sound like that cool to me. But then I thought, oh, what about displacement? Barrel displacement glitch. BDG? Oh, that sounds cool. I was into Breath of the Wild speedrunning at the time. And of course, I'd later come to learn that this glitch has already been discovered and is called barrel stacking.
That I currently don't have the ability to crack. I now have a much better understanding of what causes the glitch, along with some.
While it is true, I do now have, I at this point had a much better understanding of what causes the glitch, I still didn't know everything, which is a big reason why I took this video down, because I straight up just gave misinformation because I didn't understand how the glitch worked, but I thought I kind of had an idea how it worked.
Some of the other glitches from the last video. And speaking of the last video, I want to start this video by going over some other mistakes slash ambiguities I left on the last video. So the first thing I want to clarify is actually
I was surprised. I used the song Danger Abounds from Mario Party 5 up until I used this in, oh god, what video? I think it was the Cutscene Iceberg video, right? I don't even remember if I used it in the Cutscene Iceberg. I think I did though. I for some reason had been under the impression that I've tried using this song in multiple videos and never found a place to use it until recently, but that's actually not true. I used it here.
something I corrected with some on-screen text last video, but I still want to say it in words. In reference to a barrel's top collision skew, which from now on I'm going to call a barrel.
Oh wait, actually hold on.
A barrel's top
proof I was into like Breath of the Wild, like Zelda stuff a lot at the time. There's an Age of Calamity thing recommended to me in my YouTube up next.
top collision skew, which from now
Also, I think in a previous clip you saw Nintendo Black Crisis was at the top of my subscribed list.
I'm going to call a barrel collision skew, or BCS for short. It'll pretty much always skew to where Mario is when he places the barrel down. That is, once Mario places down a barrel, all he has to do is jump, without any moving, to find the skewed collision. Now, you may have noticed I said it will pretty much always instead of always. That's because of a caveat that I will kind of show later in the video. The second thing I want to
foreshadowing.
clarify is the presumable.
Okay, foreshadowing. More like good hook? Question mark. I mean, it's a minute and a half into the video almost, but giving a reason to the viewer, like, to keep watching is generally speaking a good thing. You know, it's like teasing a bit of a reward at the end, sort of.
Presumably new walk underwater glitch I found last video. I say presumably because I don't know if anyone else has discovered it, but I'm like 99% sure it hasn't been discovered. In case you forgot, it involves.
I'm surprised I said that. I'm 99% sure it hasn't been discovered, because the whole premise of the original barrel video coming into existence was because I said I'm 99% sure you can use a barrel to collect a shine sprite. That's over the water. And then I couldn't because I didn't know about the barrel displacement glitch, or not barrel displacement glitch, barrel collision skew.
Is where you're placing a barrel at just the right height in the water.
Oh, did anyone else ever do this? Where
In case you forgot,
you're watching a video and you see someone's mouse on screen, you line up your mouse perfectly with it.
involves where you're
Then press
placing a
play.
barrel at just the right height in the water.
Beautiful.
But unlike the pretty well-known glitch where Mario picks up a barrel to start walking underwater, he instead can run straight into the barrel without having to pick it up. Now, that much I made clear in the last video. However, I forgot to mention at all was that as far as I can tell, Mario already has to be underwater to place the barrel at the correct height, which honestly makes it super understandable why this glitch hasn't been documented, at least
Yeah.
somewhere easy to find.
Which I explained here in the present a couple of minutes ago about this glitch.
Because of that, it's pretty much only useful if you need to go back and forth from walking underwater to walking on land. Lastly, I may have mispronounced voila, along with me calling the hillside
Yeah, I said viola at some point. I still do. Sometimes I'll say viola instead of voila, because that's just how my brain reads it.
cave secret level, just the hillside secret. I doubt that anyone really cares about petty
Oh yeah,
stuff like that,
that's me correcting the hillside cave secret
but I just
thing.
want to
Oops,
acknowledge
double
the
clicked it, got
mistake.
it on full screen.
Also, this isn't really correction, but more of a reinforcement of what I discovered in the last video, and it's that these glitches do work on original-ish hardware. Despite what you probably believe by watching this footage, this wasn't captured on a capture card, since I don't have one, but instead recorded with my phone camera. This is an original
joke.
US copy of Super Mario Sunshine being ran on a Nintendo Wii, and pretty much all my discoveries from last video can be proven on Serena Beach. Also,
Super Mario
I may
Sunshine
or may
reveal?
not have gotten my test version of the game to run on a Wii. That may or may not have been homebrewed, but I'm not 100% sure I would be able to show that footage if I had it in the first place.
Why wouldn't I be sure I'd be able to show that footage? I very clearly show that I'm using Dolphin Emulator, which, if anything, is more illegal than homebrewing your Wii, which it's not illegal.
Okay, so after all
Battle. YouTube title's covering up. But Battle, Me Too music.
that, it's finally time to actually get into the meat of this video. So, like I said before, we left off in Bianco Hills' own hillside cave secret. And just to recap, it was discovered that if Mario picks up a
like
barrel, places it, picks it back up again, and places it again, but on a separate object, the barrel would suddenly teleport. And by object, I don't mean the technical term, but the conceptual term, as in a thing versus a thing, like you would refer to a cup as an object. I elaborate on that because that's actually really important later. As an
I was
object.
so proud of getting that cup. That was my own cup. I like green screened. I didn't have green screen at the time, so what I did is I made like a full green like PNG and just opened that image, like covered my entire like screen with that image, and then held the cup in front of that PNG, which is
A thing.
you can actually see some of the green lighting on it. I tried to do my best to get rid of it, but yeah, I was so proud of that. And honestly, this example isn't that good of like saying like an in-game object isn't the same thing as like a real object, like the same way that this is an object and my glasses are an object and this is an object analogy goes. I guess it is a fun analogy, but I don't know. It's not maybe necessary to describe. I don't know.
Versus a thing, like you would refer to a cup as an object. I elaborate on that because that's actually really important later. Anyways,
Yeah. Okay, I'm having trouble right now because I know there's something like not quite right with going into the description of like what an object is in Sunshine versus reality and why you have to have different definitions, but I don't know what it is. You ever have that like where you intuitively know something is wrong about something, but you don't know what it is, so you just have trouble articulating it? Yeah, whatever. I'll just press play. I come back to it later on anyways. Maybe when I come back to it, I'll have a better explanation.
The first theory was naturally that barrels would behave in this manner because they were being placed on two separate objects. But then I discovered something that completely threw a wrench into that idea. If instead of placing the barrel on a different object from where Mario first placed it, it was placed on the same object, then the barrel would teleport back to where it was originally placed on that object. So naturally, it was time
I guess, okay, I'm thinking about it more. Maybe I just wouldn't make that distinction today. I would just say if you place the barrel on this object and place it on another one, it teleports. But then I would make the distinction of like level geometry versus normal objects. I don't know, man, it's weird.
New theory. After a bit of thinking, my new theory was that perhaps it had to do something with moving platforms. Maybe the barrels were somehow storing momentum from the moving platforms they were on when they were first placed, and it was being transferred to...
That's a decent theory. You know, Mario can store momentum weirdly in the game, so maybe somehow the barrels are storing momentum. That's a good theory. I like that theory.
When they were placed
Good
again.
thinking.
So, while this theory wasn't necessarily bad, it was quickly disproven. And a twist I honestly didn't see coming, it turned out this glitch was happening everywhere in the level, assuming the barrel can be placed. Whether the barrel is placed on a moving
It's weird the barrel can't
object or
be
not,
placed on
the
cheese-a-blocks.
barrel displacement glitch, or
But only that type of cheese-a-block.
BDG for short, would happen. By the way, BDG is what I'm going to be calling a glitch for the rest of the video, so remember it. At first, I was a bit confused, but then it hit me. I was thinking about this all wrong.
I was thinking about this all wrong, and I would continue to think about it all wrong in a different way.
You remember a bit earlier in the video where I went out of my way to define what I meant when I was referring to objects?
Oh yeah, this is Adobe Premiere Roche, by the way. Number one, I bought this program, a subscription to this program, because it was cheaper than Adobe Premiere Pro. And at the time I thought, oh hey, Premiere Pro, that's what most of the YouTubers I know use. So I'm eventually going to work my way up into Premiere Pro when I make enough money. Premiere Rush at the time, $10 a month, Pro $20. DaVinci Resolve, it's a free to use program, and the free version of DaVinci Resolve, I still use it to this day. So you can make like really high quality stuff with the free version of DaVinci Resolve. It rivals a lot of most of what Adobe Premiere Pro can do. And the Pro version of DaVinci Resolve, which isn't even a subscription, it's like a one-time payment. It's even better, from my understanding anyways. Hashtag not an ad. Anyways, Premiere Rush was like probably the worst financial investment I ever made, because one, I didn't end up transitioning into Adobe Premiere Pro, and two, this is all the like video tracks you can use. You have like the base video track, and then you can like layer only 3 things at once above it and nothing else. And you are so limited by so many other options. Do not recommend Adobe Premiere Rush, maybe unless you're editing on like mobile, because that's what it's made for. It's made for like mobile devices, I'm pretty sure. That's the main use case. Even then, I'm not even sure if it's the best option. I don't edit on mobile, so I wouldn't know.
Well, that definition is where I went wrong. I was applying real-world logic to a video game. Instead, I had to start thinking about the game.
Okay, so this brings back to a point I made, I think, in the file select creator commentary, which is that back then, you know, in 2020 when I was making these videos, my method of like storytelling and conveying information was so different than it is today, because how I used to tell stories was through how I actually discovered things, like the process of discovering things. And it's a really appealing angle, but I think in practice it just doesn't make sense, because you come into a video, I say something, and then I later correct it, and then I later correct it again maybe. First I describe like, oh, there's a difference between real world objects and Super Mario Sunshine objects, that are the computer sciencey term. Don't really elaborate on that. I just say, hey, there's a difference, and then that's all. I guess that's what I found wrong with it. That's what I was struggling to think of this entire time, is like I stopped the video to say like, hey, there's a distinction between objects in real life versus objects in Super Mario Sunshine, but then I don't actually say what the distinction is. I'm talking too fast. I'm like having XQC tongue right here. Excessive disorganized way of making videos, I think, and can leave the viewer a little bit confused because first you learn this piece of information, then you learn a modified piece of that information, and then you learn another modified piece of that information, and that's maybe the final piece of information, or maybe you take down that video and remake it because you learned the actual correct nature of that information. It's a relic of its time on the Angry Max YouTube channel, I guess. The way these videos were made.
And the way it was coded. That being the main two things every level in Super Mario Sunshine is made out of. Level geometry and objects. First, I think I have to explain what I mean by level geometry and objects. Every level in SMS is made out of two things, as I already said. One of those things, level geometry, is basically what it sounds.
By the way, that's like half true. Map geometry itself and like all of that is also technically an object.
It's like,
it's just not an object in the definition I was using for this video, I guess, but it is an object.
It's the level itself.
In the computer sciencey term, as I said earlier.
So, for instance, this is what Delfino Plaza looks like when it is just level geometry. Notice that pretty much anything that moves or can be interacted with is missing, such as piantas, manholes, fruit, shine sprites, coins, etc., etc. So, as you can
Shine sprite.
probably deduce, anything that is not level geometry.
Oh, you know what?
So,
I'm actually surprised that the pin of Ferris wheel is there. Usually that's an LOD, but like its own like LOD model.
You can probably deduce anything that is not level geometry are objects, but the technical term and not the conceptual term I defined earlier. Now, that definition may be a bit confusing.
Yeah, so like, why define something and then not use that definition until a couple minutes later in the video? Like, it just leaves room for people to forget and kind of lose track of what you were actually talking about. Very strange.
That's okay. All you need to know is that when I refer to something being an object from now on, I mean it in a technical term. So you might be wondering why that's even important. Well, that's because I had a new theory. Well, kind of. The new theory is actually the same as the first theory, you know, barrels would behave in this manner because they're being placed on two separate objects. Except now we know that the context for the word objects has now changed. Of course, we also know that the glitch can still sort of be performed on the same object, so the new theory really is barrels will displace once they are placed on an object, given they have already been placed before. Now, it might be at this point that you're saying, but yeah, Max, the barrels are still displacing on that piece of level geometry. And well, you're right. Only
yeah, this exposes to me how much differently I think about this game versus how I used to think about it. And I don't know if this is valuable or not, because this is the object Mario's on right now, the green like wooden thing. It's a placeable object you can place in the bin editor. That's really the distinction between objects and level geometry. Level geometry just exists as a thing that you can't place in the bin editor, whereas palm trees, the moving platforms, barrels, the platform Mario's standing on, this is all stuff you can like drag and drop around in the bin editor. I had assumed because it's a static object, it's level geometry. Like nowadays, I wouldn't assume someone would assume this is level geometry that Mario's standing on, but maybe that's actually a correct assumption to make, like, because I assumed it back then when I was like really green to Sunshine modding and...
Kind of. You see, as it turns out, Bianco Hills' own hillside cave secret is actually entirely...
I love that bit. The inserting cave, that's the type of bit that I would love to do in a video today.
Of objects. There is no level geometry here. And to prove that, I can open up the level geometry file to show you that. Indeed, there is no level geometry.
I actually wonder if you even need to have map.bmd in there.
To be found.
Interesting.
Therefore, the BDG will work anywhere in Bianco Hills' own hillside cave secret, given that the barrel doesn't explode where you place it.
Very roundabout way to just...
So it was at this point in my research that I decided I wanted to do some more controlled testing. Along with that, I wanted to change up the scenery a bit, so I made a testing area in Delfino Plaza's own turbo nozzle level. Just gonna call it the turbo nozzle level from now on.
Dude, okay, I was I realize I'm talking about myself, but man, I was cooking with that joke
Before I get
and the evolutions of
into
it.
this testing, I actually want to give a bit of an interesting trivia fact about this level. It's
Oh yeah,
unrelated.
this is the part of the video where I just decide to talk about something completely unrelated. Not like I do that anymore, ever.
But it's kind of cool.
In today's videos, if I'm gonna go over a like piece of unrelated information, it's gonna be like at most 10 seconds. It's not gonna be almost an entire minute. I think in general, people, when they click on a video that's titled something, they're expecting to watch a video about what it's titled. So taking an entire, minute to discuss something that's not about what the video is supposed to be about is kind of weird.
See, this level's internal name in the game is actually called BIA_EX1.SCS. Now, the BIA prefix in the file name heavily implies this level was first meant to appear in Bianco Hills. Additionally, the EX1
Really just
suffix,
confirms.
or rather any EX number suffix that is given to a level internally in the game, means that it's a secret level. So, with that given information,
Actually, I don't know if EX actually stands for extra. I think EX maybe it does stand for extra. It's just like a weird like Japanese thing. Kind of like in Breath of the Wild, like a lot of the DS stuff. A lot of the DLC stuff has like EX attached to it, like the DLC quests or some of the DLC chests I think have EX written on the chest itself. So I think it's just like a kind of like Japanese cultural thing. That's kind of my guess, but this might be unrelated. I don't know.
it's a secret
I just don't actually know that it stands for extra.
level. So, with that given information, it's basically confirmed this level was originally meant to appear in Bianco Hills. What makes this more interesting is that this explains why the turbo nozzle box for Bianco Hills appears right in front of the second secret stage of the level. This
is super interesting. I actually remember putting this together and thinking I was a genius for, excuse me. I remember thinking that I was a genius for figuring this out, so.
Original way Mario was meant to make it to the turbo nozzle level. Anyways, sorry for the unrelated information. I just love little tidbits like that.
Listen, man, it's an edited video. If you're gonna give, if you're gonna take an entire minute to give some unrelated information about the game, fine, okay. At least commit to it. Don't give it and be like, okay, sorry guys. Like, you already said earlier, on screen, skip to 8:51 or whatever if you're not interested. You don't have to apologize to the people who said they're interested. Whatever.
Back to the main point of the video. For these controlled experiments, I first wanted to deduce what parts of the turbo nozzle level are made of level geometry. As it turns out, only this part of the level is considered level geometry by the game. Now, despite this, I still wanted to make my own testing area in the level,
That might not
so
be true,
I did. These 10 Cheez-It blocks that you see on the screen are all objects. Additionally, I modded in some barrels pretty close to objects. So the first thing I wanted to figure out was if there was a meaningful difference between getting the BDG to work on two separate objects versus one. And while there actually is a meaningful difference, when you
There's actually not. So this is the part of the video where everything is like actually like really wrong, by the way. when I start getting into the BDG barrel stacking. What barrel stacking is you pick up a barrel, place it down, pick it up again, go above an object, place it on the barrel, on that object, and the barrel will teleport to where Mario was when he first entered the space above that object. So if you enter the object, 100 meters in the sky and stay above that object, land on it, place on the barrel will be 100 meters up in the sky. If you just walk onto the object, place on the barrel just teleport to the edge of the object, still on the ground because you just walked onto the object.
place the barrel on the same objects.
It behaves, the way I just described it, behaves that same way, regardless of if you place it on one object, then onto another or not. It just has to do with where the barrel was when it first entered the space above the object, or where Mario was.
Twice, or even more, it will always teleport to where it was originally placed.
Yeah. And that's because, I guess it's when you placed on the barrel the first time, because you have to place down the barrel first, that's when the glitch like technically begins. When you place down the barrel the first time, that's its like initialization point above the object.
This variation of the glitch will be called the same object barrel displacement.
Just going full on going into the in committing into the BDG here, the SO BDG.
Glitch, or of course the SOBDG for short. On the other hand,
Even I'm laughing at it back then. Even then, I thought it was funny.
Where you place the barrel on two different objects will now be called the multiple object BDG or the MOBDG.
MOBDG.
I'm only really going to use those names when I feel it's necessary, however, since
Sure,
that might get a little confusing. I'll still keep calling the overall glitch the BDG. Next, I want to see if the barrel teleports during an MOBDG has any relation to where it was originally placed, and it does kind of. The first weird thing about this glitch is that the height of the barrel after it teleports seems to mostly be random, but not.
See, you can hear me questioning myself because using save states, I could see that it's actually not random.
It's random in the sense that the height after displacement seems unpredictable the first time you perform the glitch in two specific spots, but also seems if Mario places a barrel in the exact same two spots, the height will always be the same. The only way I really was able to test this was through save states and tasking. It also applies to the horizontal distance the barrel displaces as well, except that for the most time, the barrel seems to teleport as close as it can to where it was first placed, while still staying above the last object it was placed on. Something interesting about this, however, is that if you were to draw a line between where the barrel was originally placed to where it was placed after that, it seems the barrel will displace close to the line, but almost.
Yeah, and that's because the blue line was where Mario was when he first entered the space above the Cheez-It block at the top right.
Right on it.
While carrying
and
the barrel.
Again, we're just talking horizontally here, not vertically. That was a lot of words. I still have a few more to go.
It's only a 16-minute video.
From now on, though, anything else will mostly be.
And you like probably like a fifth of this video is just empty space in between my sentences.
Observations. For instance, the barrel's collision actually doesn't skew when either the BDGs are performed. On top of that, if the barrel's collision was already skewed before, it will fix itself after a BDG is performed. As proof of this, you can see Mario standing on top of a barrel where you would expect him to after a BDG. Interestingly, this probably could somehow be used to gain height Mario shouldn't have. However, the application of this will only ever be used in hacks, if at all.
Wrong.
Barrels never really spawn anywhere important for sequence skipping, at least to my knowledge.
Completely wrong.
On a similar note,
that's max percent pre-peach. Yeah, max percent pre. Why am I having a hard time saying max percent pre-peach? It's all the P's.
Actually found out you can stack barrels on top of another barrel that has its collision skewed. This is mildly significant only because Mario normally wouldn't be able to stack barrels on top of each other.
This is what, when I learned about barrel stacking, this is at first what I thought what people were referring to when saying the word barrel stacking, or the glitch barrel stacking, because you're literally stacking barrels. So this glitch, which I call, I don't know, it's really just the kind of consequence of the barrel collision skew, meaning that you can place other barrels on top of skewed barrel collision. I call this like stacking barrels or something like that. I don't know. I haven't used this glitch in a long time, but it almost had a use in the barrel only challenge run. It almost had a use in Corona Mountain.
As they just break.
I just couldn't stack the barrels high enough to get up to the top. Well, high enough within a reasonable amount of time.
Alright, editing Max here. I just finished like all the script stuff, but I actually found out a bit more information about barrels that I kind of want to get out there. So I'm kind of talking off script, so it might be a little bit less organized, but yeah. First thing I kind of
still to this day, I'm pretty disorganized when talking off script.
Show is that, so this is like the object folder for Sunshine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And here's like all the barrel stuff. So normally you should be able to just open up these files, given you have the right program, G3D model viewer. You can see the model for a barrel, right? And then you can see barrel crash, which, you know, this is the, I'm guessing this is like the model for the animation of when the barrel like breaks. But interestingly enough, there's something here called barrel offset. Now, the kind of strange thing about barrel offset, no matter where you find it, so if you look into it, so we're in Serena 7 right now, which I think is the 8th Serena beach in the game. Not 100% sure which Serena beaches is, but I'm pretty sure Serena 7 is the 8th Serena beach.
Also just didn't explain that each level has its own object folder.
But any level that has barrels in this, you can come
there are
to see
global objects, kind of.
Map objects and find, like, you know, this all the objects for that specific map. And anytime you see barrels, there's barrel offset. But the really interesting thing about barrel offset, whenever you try opening up a J3D model viewer, it just crashes. It takes a minute to actually crash, yeah. And then so if you try to do it,
I like the vibe of this. I don't know why. I just like the vibe of this, like, live recorded part of the video at the end.
Again, press retry, it's gonna crash. And of course, you know, abort. Just
could have just stopped at it crashes. I didn't have to show that it crashes after saying it crashes.
You know, crashes it as well. So I'm not sure if barrel offset has anything to do with the barrel displacement or its collision being displaced or anything like that. But,
maybe it does.
You know, it sounds suspicious.
Kind of doubt it nowadays. I still don't know what barrel offset is for, though. I don't know why it exists, what it does, if it does anything. Pretty sure you can just delete it out of any map object folder and nothing changes about barrels, so.
It's like a displacement, the word offset. Again, no idea if that has anything to do with
2 kilobytes.
This is just a guess. I don't know what that file is supposed to be. I don't know what it's like when it's not crashing J3D model viewer. Just wanted to get that information out there. Anyways, now to the end of the video. Okay, that is finally it for this video. There's still a few mysteries to Sunshine's barrels,
yeah, man. That's finally it for this video. Yeah, wait till you edit half an hour of the cutscene iceberg. Wait until you make that video, man.
But solving those means I'll have to learn to understand the game on a whole new level, which is particularly hard to do since there isn't a whole lot of documentation on how Sunshine works internally. So there might eventually be a part 3 to the Barrel Saga, but I wouldn't count on it being anytime soon. That said, if anyone who stumbles upon this video has the ability/knowledge to research and learn exactly why the barrel displacement glitch along with the barrel collision scheme works,
41 people have watched
feel
it.
free
I'm
to
probably
beat
like
me
10
to
of those
it.
things.
In fact, if you ever do, just say so in the comment section of this video. Don't link anything though, as it might automatically get flagged as spam. Again, assuming someone can and wants to do
Outro. I'm just gonna
Anyways,
speed
that's
that
gonna
in
do
here.
it. Thank you so much for watching. Really, I actually appreciate anyone who took the time out of their life to watch this, because this project means a lot to me. I just want to get any
Even me, I appreciate me because I'm taking my time out of my life to watch this.
all information about this game out there.
Self-love.
Additionally, I would so much appreciate if you like this video, and maybe even subscribe, because every little bit of support helps me out tremendously to size my channel. Maybe even leave a comment too. Also, if you're interested, there'll be a playlist in the description that will house all my Super Mario Sunshine Experiments videos. Currently, there's only 3, but I plan on doing at least a few more if I find anything else interesting, which I actually already have found something else interesting. But that's gonna do it for me. Have a nice day, night, whatever, and later.
Oh, I guess this is right before the file select. Okay, yeah. So, thoughts on this video? Well, that's a pretty good sum up. How this video turned out is another like kind of flaw with the approach of these types of videos, where the story that's being told is that of my actual discovery process, because there's just so much bad information in this video. Also, you gotta love Theory 2 disproven. Also, is that the wrong timestamp? Yeah, that's the wrong timestamp. Wait, those really are my thoughts. Let's move on to the next video. But first, I'm gonna take a break, which will be no time for you at all. Yo, it is a day, no, 2 days later. As you could probably tell, I was starting to run out of some steam, so I decided to call it there. I figured usually with the first 2 episodes of creator commentaries, what I've done is review the thumbnail at the end. Let's do the thumbnails in the middle. There's 3 thumbnails, might be fun that way. This is the madness of my thumbnails folder. I just store all of my thumbnails in this folder ever. Super Mario Sunshine barrel tests. Let's see. This is the first thumbnail. As you can probably tell, it's just the file select and the Shine Sprite thumbnail. Although the file select video hadn't been out by this point. Nothing special about that. I guess the barrel's kind of funny there, but yeah, nothing special. Here's episode 2. Just added more barrels. Hid one behind the or the sunshine thing. Added a big 2 to it. Coming to the remake of the barrels episodes. So this is the old thumbnail I did for the barrels episode. Let's go full screen here. I like the design overall, kinda. But it's just bad because you can't read anything and it's not obvious. Like, shrink this thumbnail down to like thumbnail size on YouTube, put it against 20 other thumbnails or however many you're going to be seeing at the same time, and you're not going to know what the hell this video is about at all by just looking at it at a glance, which a good thumbnail should do. A good thumbnail should give you an idea of what the video is, maybe even before your eyes actually focus on it. So I eventually decided to remake the thumbnail. Wrong direction. And yeah, I just did this. It's kind of I think I tried to make it evocative of sort of like a Swanky Box type of thumbnail, with my own flair, which is of course putting Mario in the corner looking up like that. Seriously, like, this is probably my most used like thumbnail asset. I don't know why these are capitalized, but that isn't. Whatever. That's the thumbnail. Not that interesting. So let's move on to the actual video. I just said let's move on to the actual video, but before moving on to the actual video, I do want to kind of give a bit of a summary of where I was at before going into this video. Obviously, as I've already said a couple of times already, this is a remake of the first 2 barrel episodes we just watched, and because of, you know, inaccuracies, misinformation, stuff like that. Part of it too was that I felt kind of embarrassed for claiming to have found barrel stacking, which of course I called BDG. So my kind of MO in the beginning with Sunshine Experiments was to kind of be equivalent of Red Fuzzy Dice or Magic Scrumpy, same person, except that I wouldn't be trying to take credit for other people's discoveries and stuff like that. So for my second video / third video, for there to already be something where I kind of like made that mistake, except obviously it was an honest mistake on my part, I kind of felt embarrassed because, you know, that's kind of the goal of what I'm trying to do. The opposite of is not take credit for other people's discoveries. I still in the end did the exact same thing. So I decided to take those videos down, remake this video, and that's where I was at. Fun fact, for quite a while after uploading this video, I would say up until, I think until like Floor is Lava, I considered this like my magnum opus, which is, looking back now, I'm a little questioning. I think part of it is that I didn't watch it for a while after uploading it, and the idea of how good it was, egotistical, I know, but the idea of how good it was in my head actually didn't match up to how good the editing and stuff actually was. But yeah, let's actually take a look at that for ourselves here. Okay, let's go.
Barrels.
I can't hear anything. Awesome.
Barrels. One of the most enigmatic objects in Super Mario Sunshine, for their many glitchy and oftentimes confusing behaviors. These behaviors will be the topic for today's video. But
what is that delivery? For their oftentimes enigmatic and many times confusing behaviors. This is the first video, I think, where I really started to put more effort into my voiceovers. You know, cut out a lot of the empty space in between, don't leave like breaths in between, try to give a bit more energy in certain parts of the video, give specific deliveries. That like weird delivery there, that was actually a little intentional. I was still kind of finding what my YouTube voice would sound like. So yeah,
this will be the topic for today's video. But first, I need to clear up a few things. This video is not a re-upload. It's a redo, I suppose. But why? The 2 episodes of Super Mario Sunshine Experiments that were focused on barrels, I just wasn't happy with. With the weird delivery of some lines to some of the research errors, I felt almost embarrassed by them, even if they maybe weren't.
Yo, Editing Max here, and I cannot believe I forgot to do another drink check. I mean, it's a different day, I have different drinks, so what's up with that? I guess it is sort of unprecedented territory to do 2 drink checks in one video. It's Gatorade. I'm drinking Gatorade, and then water as usual. Yeah.
That bad? For the sake of transparency, I will put links for
They're
both
pretty bad.
of the now unlisted barrel episodes in the description. I, however, still want to keep them unlisted because they're something I'm just not proud of.
Now, back to the
I
video.
guess I wasn't cutting
Today,
all the breaths out of the video there because I just breathed in right there, like very audibly.
I'll be taking you through my research and findings with barrels.
Oh, is this the yeah, I think this is the beginning of the lab coat thing. So I had this idea for every like Sunshine Experiments videos from this point and forward, I'd like have this like lab coat on Mario. Which is, it's obviously just the retextured shine shirt, I guess. Yeah, shine shirt. The problem is I usually forget about this. Sometimes I do add it, like it was in the Rockets Sunshine Experiments, not in all clips, because I just forget about it, and then I can't be arsed. I guess I'm British now. I can't be arsed to go back and redo it, the clips, when I realize, oh hey, I'm supposed to be wearing the lab coat here. So yeah, whatever. Or Mario's supposed to be wearing the lab coat. I'm Mario?
Take note that, unless I explicitly state it, everything here I have found by myself by experimenting in the game. That does not mean, however, that I am the first to find any of these things, or that I am taking credit for finding any of these things. In fact,
Yeah, so there's a sort of almost overcorrection there of the whole credit thing I was talking about right before playing this video.
I'll be doing my best to give credits to the original founders of most of these glitches.
See, that's I think that's all that was necessary, because at the end of the day, if we go back to the other barrel videos, let's see, 31 views, 42 views. Barely anybody saw these, and I didn't really have the foresight in mind when making this video to like kind of recognize that most people watching this video in the future probably won't have ever watched these two. So I kind of don't need to make, you know, this sort of overcorrection about it. I can just say, hey, I'm going to do my best to credit the original founders of these glitches and so on.
Okay, now it's time to get into the video. A few months ago, I uploaded a video about shine sprites and how Mario get into the video.
Actually, this is a few months after the last video, so there's probably a bit more stuff here. Phasmophobia or CSGO. All these crappy black thumbnails are CSGO, by the way. A Minecraft thing, another Minecraft thing, more Minecraft things. Man, I kind of forgot, but I really leaned into being a Minecraft channel for a month, it looks like. I think that's just what I had the most fun editing at the time.
I uploaded a video about shine sprites and how Mario interacts with them in weird circumstances that they don't appear in for the vanilla game.
Okay, wait, actually,
with them in weird
I do want to say,
a few months ago,
top 5 cave update features, Minecraft. This was before Caves and Cliffs came out. At least 2 of those ideas were like kind of real. So give credit where credit is due to Angry Max for being a Minecraft god at predicting things. You know, isn't it kind of weird that I just can't make sentences, but I want to be like a streamer, content creator type of person? Like, isn't that kind of weird? That's weird.
I uploaded a video about shine sprite.
I mean, streamer is actually like the secondary of what I really want to be, but whatever.
And how Mario interacts with them in weird circumstances that they don't appear in for the vanilla game. This was episode number 1 of Super Mario Sunshine Experiments. There was a part of that video where I documented how if Mario touches a shine sprite that's above the water, then he'll never actually be able to collect the shine sprite, as the shine get animation gets cancelled. Something I tested in that video was if Mario could collect a shine sprite over the water by putting a barrel in between the water surface and the shine sprite. That venture...
This whole backstory, I guess, is kind of unnecessary. I don't know. It led to that one line I really like.
However, was doomed to fail. I couldn't even get a barrel properly spawned in for that video, but I did say I was 98% sure that Mario could use a barrel to collect a shine. Little did I know that that sentence would lead me down a rabbit hole filled with water, glitches, and predictably barrels.
Yeah, I stole that line right of, I already forget. I think that was episode 2 of the original barrel episodes. I really like that line. But fun fact, throughout, so the 2 minutes runtime of this intro, you may have noticed that the song in the background that was playing is not 2 minutes long. And I was in fact like splicing it to keep it going longer and longer. It's the like demo cutscene song from Mario Sunshine. So if you wait on the title screen long enough, the cutscene plays, and then there's like this music in the background. It is not 2 minutes long. I think it's like a minute long. So yeah, I just like kept splicing it to make it repeat over and over, like certain parts. That worked out because I really wanted it to end right here at 2 minutes, but it's honestly barely noticeable unless you're actually listening to it or really know the song well. And you're like, wait, why does something not feel right? And you might not even know, but yeah, the song is just repeating over and over and over again. It probably was harder to tell because I've been pausing and, you know, talking over it. Anyways, let's go back to the video and watch the unskippable cutscene. Old intro, let's go. I would have animated the goop textures there today. It's animated down there. Awesome cinematic shots here. Bronze shines bright because of the camera angle. Dude, I had so much fun making this. I feel comfortable talking over it because it's, you know, just music. I stayed up till like 2 a.m. making this one night. It was a chance to have some fun with the editing. Oh, and fun fact, the sounds here, I recorded the sound of the opening cutscene. So you open up Sunshine, and it goes do 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 Super Mario Sunshine, wahoo, you know. But then if you don't press the A button, it kind of just sits there for a little while, and you can just hear the ocean and the seagulls like you were hearing there. And so I think I recorded that and then spliced it over the intro here so that you don't hear like the do 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 Super Mario Sunshine, but you still see the title screen come up like it normally does. I think that's what I did here. I do remember looking into seeing if I could find the original like source file for these sounds. I don't think I did, but I did end up finding the sound library Nintendo used for this game. I mean, somebody else found it and I just found like their research into that, but yeah. Cool intro. Oh yeah, and there's the barrels redux thing that pops up here. That was fun. I still have this in my custom textures. So if I have custom textures enabled today, like literally if I booted up Dolphin right now, enabled custom textures and booted up Sunshine, it would still say barrels redux here, which is a neat little fact. I like keeping it for like kind of the reminder. The rabbit hole begins. Right, and this video was the beginning. I kind of forgot, but this is the beginning of like my kind of like graffiti like style of having the drawn on words here with like the goop in the background, the animated goop. Yeah, this is where that began. Oh wait, no. Okay, wait, no. This is where it starts to get crazy, guys. At the time, I was using Adobe Premiere Rush. Adobe Premiere Rush, at the time at least, there was no access to any like chroma keying features or anything like that. Chroma keying is green screen stuff, and there was no masking, anything like that. No masking, no chroma keying. Masking is like the best way to describe it. It's like chroma keying, except you like manually like draw a shape kind of, and then you decide that's like where it gets cut out. That's very layman, but you know, whatever. So what I did is in OBS, the recording and streaming software that I still use to this day that I'm recording this right now on, I like made all of the green screen stuff, or all the stuff with like the words with the backgrounds here. I made it all in OBS and recorded it in OBS, then imported those files into Adobe Premiere Rush. So actually I can demonstrate this. Prepare for some inception here. Oh, okay. Oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. So yeah, I still have it. Barrels Redux title. So that's the thing I still have. So this is the title screen. See, I still have this, and okay, so there was, okay, I added a green screen behind it. I don't think I ended up using this, because what I just did instead was I set this to like my main monitor or whatever, and on my main monitor I had the background here playing. So if you go back to the title screen, it's the same background as here. Oh, also let me go back to so it was the same background here, and I just had a recording of, you know, the Bianco secret skybox playing in the background, or just the secret skybox, not Bianco secret skybox, just the secret skybox, this specific secret skybox playing in the background. And that's how I got these shots originally. I went through so many hoops just to get like chroma keying and masking in the early days. And of course now I just use DaVinci Resolve, which I don't have to pay for, and it's infinitely easier to do anything chroma keying or masking in. That's where the saying limitation gives way to creativity or whatever. Limitation breeds creativity. What's the saying? I forget what it is. It's something like that. That's where that saying comes from.
So, it was time to put my money where my mouth was. In the original video about shine sprites, I couldn't figure out how to mod a barrel into the game, so I couldn't yet prove that Mario could collect a shine sprite on top of a barrel that's partially submerged.
Why'd I just like randomly speed up my sentence there?
That video focused on shine sprites, but not barrels after all. However, due to my own curiosity and my own motivation to learn more about modding Sunshine, I eventually figured out how to spawn in custom working barrels anywhere I saw fit. And so I decided to try and see if Mario could collect a shine sprite while standing on a partially submerged barrel. But SMS just had to be SMS. Yeah. I couldn't even get Mario to properly stand on the barrel, let alone...
Yeah, so as you can tell, there's a lot of reused parts of the script here because it was a remake, obviously.
Collect a shine sprite on it, submerged or dry land. I still kept trying and trying, however. I even discovered and used a potentially...
You can very clearly tell this is a different take.
New walk underwater glitch, which involves Mario walking into a barrel that's already been placed under the water. But finally, on complete accident...
Wait, I didn't go into more detail on that walk underwater glitch after I already knew I made the mistake in the original script of not going into more detail on that walk underwater glitch because it just sounds like the standard walk underwater glitch. I mean, I guess you can like see it's different because you just see I walk into the barrel.
I even discovered and used a potentially new walk underwater glitch, which involves Mario walking into a barrel that's already been placed under the water. But finally, on complete accident,
whatever, man,
this happened.
I remember, I tried to make this look as accidental as possible.
For some
you can see me like randomly moving the camera around and stuff. It's so funny.
It appeared that the top of the barrel's collision had skewed somehow. I knew this wasn't normal. In fact, I knew that Mario could stand on top of barrels normally, despite what was happening. So I started racking my brain. Could it be because it's underwater? Maybe because it's on a slope.
Also transitions. This was before I realized transitions feel empty without sound, or motion transitions anyways.
I was thinking to myself, well, there's only one way to see. I took a barrel to a dry slope and promptly fell victim to confirmation bias.
Dude, it was such a different vibe back then with how I delivered my lines and script and stuff. Man, I even recorded this shot. Kind of forgot about that.
So, because I got that weird barrel collision...
These shots I'm pretty sure are recreated too and aren't just recycled.
...to work on a dry slope, after asking myself if it was a slope causing the glitch in the first place, I briefly believed it was the slope causing the glitch. But then I remembered something from earlier. I couldn't stand on a barrel earlier that was on a flat, non-sloped surface. If there was one thing I was 100% completely sure of, it was that I had some more testing to do.
Dude, I remember I was so annoyed that Mario fell asleep during this clip, but then I was like, oh wait, no, him adjusting his belt kind of fits here.
Thing I was 100% completely sure of,
like he's ready to get to work.
I had some more testing to do.
Oh god, that's loud. That's something I used to do a lot with these title cards, is that I'd have the intro music play in a bit louder, or the music when it intros, it would play in a bit louder and then dial down.
Testing to do.
I think that's a valid thing to do, but it's kind of uncomfortable sometimes.
Immediately, the first thing I needed to see was if the skew barrel collision was consistent. And, well, it is and isn't. You see, every time Mario places down a barrel, this glitched collision shows itself. But that's the key here. Mario has to place the barrel down. This glitchy collision doesn't show itself on a freshly spawned, or respawned for that matter, barrel that's never been picked up. The second...
Wait, dude. Okay, I guess there are some interesting things to say here.
Self on a freshly spawned, or respawn.
That's a freshly spawned barrel and I couldn't land on it. Why did I think this was good to show? That just makes it more confusing.
On for that matter, barrel that's never been picked up. The second thing that I quickly realized was where this collision ends up being relative to the barrel. You see, the glitchy collision always ends up basically right on top of Mario once he places the barrel. All he has to do is jump to find it. Along with that, the collision will move if the barrel is moved too. So this glitchy collision is always right on top of Mario once he places down a barrel. Well, almost always, but that's for a much later part of the video.
The way I would have done this nowadays is keep this clip rolling, but then turn it gray and zoom it in a little bit, maybe tilt it a little bit, and then add the it's hard to do this because my camera cuts off, but face sky.
So this glitchy collision,
you probably know what I'm talking about. I've done that edit like 1,000 times.
Is always right on top of Mario once he places down a barrel. Well, almost always.
This guy.
But that's for a much later part of the video. The final observation I had was that with a barrel that's never been picked up, Mario can stand on top of it just fine. However, with a barrel that has been picked up and placed down, Mario could not stand on top of it. This led me to the conclusion that once Mario places down a barrel, for some reason or another, its top collision, or the area Mario can stand on of the barrel.
So many, oh, what's the name? It starts with an A. Dude, no, wait, what's the word for this? So many appositives, I think they're called. So many appositives, which is like when you're saying a sentence and then you kind of do like a comma to get an aside, comma again, get back to the original sentence. That's an appositive.
Gets moved
English with Angry Max.
To Mario's location. Mario can...
In all reality though, as I'm fixing my headphones so I can actually hear, appositives are one of my old reliables for when it comes to sentences, writing sentences. I don't know why, I just naturally lean towards them, and you probably hear them all the time in my writing.
Stand on the barrel, gets moved to Mario's location. So now that I fully understood the glitch, it was time for a name, so I decided to call it the Barrel Collision Skew, or BCS for short. It's a rather self-explanatory name, I felt. Now, onto the more, awkward part. I don't know if this glitch has been discovered / documented before. The Mario Wiki glitch page doesn't list anything. That said, that page is far from all-inclusive.
See, I've learned.
In terms of known Mario Sunshine glitches, so I kept looking, and I couldn't find anything. Through multiple searches on multiple search engines, most of the results have to do with either the well-known walk underwater glitch that involves a barrel, or the invisible barrel from Rico Harbor. So for now, I'm going to...
And this was before, or that part of the script was written, I think, before the aforementioned average tray video about max percent pre-peach, which was made, which got posted to the lowest percent YouTube channel.
To refer to the glitch with my given name, the BCS. So it seemed I'd come to a fairly conclusive ending. I discovered and documented a potentially new glitch.
That's a kind of actually fun way to show the BCS in action.
Limits
Have a flag blocking Mario, but you can still see the barrels clearly in front of the flag.
for me to break with the BCS, minus a few small, mostly meaningless things. However, just because I was finished documenting one glitch related to barrels, didn't mean that there weren't more for me to discover. Enter barrel stacking.
Nowadays, what I probably would have done, enter barrel stacking, and then play like a 10 to 15 second clip of barrel stacking with like some hype music behind it, like a supercut, you know, type of thing.
Barrel stacking was unknown to me during my research, an already documented glitch in Mario Sunshine. Now, take note that my research was before Average Trey's video about the max percent pre-peach run category on the lowest percent YouTube channel, which definitely signal boosted this glitch out of obscurity outside of niche communities in the already niche community of Sunshine. That, however, isn't going to stop me from documenting everything I found out about the glitch, along with everything I learned about it from
Just X out the advert
people.
I think I did that because I used to have this belief that you're not supposed to show advertisements and stuff, because watching TV as a kid, Mythbusters, so on, they'd always tape up, the Apple logo on laptops, or tape over Coca-Cola cans so you can't see it's Coca-Cola, or take off the labeling on like water bottles and such. I'm 99% sure you won't get like sued or anything if you show an advert for something. It's actually more about not giving free advertisement, basically. Why would an advertiser pay you to advertise their product if they think you're just going to do it for free eventually anyways? That's why TV shows and YouTubers and stuff often will block out advertisements. It's not because they'll get sued if they show someone else's product in their video without their consent. It's really to do with money. I didn't know that at the time. I didn't have the foresight.
As there still isn't an exactly comprehensive, easy to access resource about barrel stacking, to my knowledge anyways. But anyways,
yeah, the most comprehensive resource for finding out about niche Sunshine glitches at the time was watching SMS Bingo League and control Fing through the Discord and searching keywords for glitches you think might exist.
back to the research. So I was
And that latter method is still like the best way to find glitches. That's how I found out about like a bunch of like lily pad tech for Sunshine Kaizo.
hungry to find out more about barrels, so I decided I would spawn them in somewhere you would never expect to find them, then see what—
Oh, I don't remember. Did I do this in the previous videos? This shot of like zooming into Bianco Hill's secret? I think I did.
more about
Yeah,
barrels.
this is one of my favorite shots to I still reuse this like type of thing in videos today, like slowly zooming into a loading zone. Sometimes I add in the dark parts of the screen are keyed out so you see the secret past already, like you zoom in on the secret instead of zooming into, you know, a black space.
So I decided I would spawn them in somewhere you would never
very
expect
fun.
to
I
find
love
them, then
these
see
type of
what I
edits.
could do. And what place could be more perfect than Bianco Hills' own hillside secret?
Oh, that's my
Hillside
mess
cave
from
secret,
the
that
past.
is. Once I modded
Thought
in
that
my
was my mess
barrels,
in the
I
current.
got straight to testing. And man, did this not disappoint. The first thing I got to testing was seeing if Mario could place a barrel
Weird shadow thing happening right there. I think that's a reflection thing, actually. I don't know. Yeah, that's not his shadow. That's definitely like a reflection.
on top of a moving object, such as the one right at the beginning of the stage. And almost anticlimactically, the barrel placed down completely normally, assuming a BCS is normal, that is. So I decided to maybe try the next
I like
moving
that.
platform. And the barrel all of a sudden shot up from where Mario placed it down to above and behind him. Amazed, but also confused, I knew I had stumbled upon something crazy.
Yeah, to get this shot, by the way,
Amazed.
I think I originally didn't really want Mario up here, but I wanted the camera to follow the barrel. So I had to be on one of these moving platforms. So I just got on this one and let the camera follow the barrel. Naturally.
But also confused, I knew I had stumbled upon something crazy. So what was happening? Well, placement after placement of
If I remember correctly, the music is a little too loud here, the Mewtwo music. And that's because, so the Pokemon XY Mewtwo music, it starts kind of quiet, but it ramps up in volume a lot. So usually if I use this music nowadays, which I think I did use it kind of recently, you have to kind of ramp the volume down naturally if you want the voiceover to still be audible over the music by the time it's ramped up.
barrels, I deduced this. If Mario placed a barrel down on one object, then another, then the barrel would teleport away from him. And mind you, by object, I don't mean like a household object or necessarily something physical, but an object in the technical computer sciencey use of the word. And in this case specifically,
Again, like, I don't think that's a helpful description because to the average person, that's just like a buzzword, you know? Like, it doesn't mean anything.
I mean basically anything that moves or is interactable with in Super Mario Sunshine, such as these moving platforms or these palm trees, etc. In fact, this starting platform is also technically an object. Not that that really matters for you to know. All you need to know is that from this point
Actually,
in
it
time
does.
of my research, what I thought I knew was that placing the barrel on two different objects made it teleport like that. Of course, that isn't entirely true, but we'll get to that later. Now, it was at this point that I decided I needed a bit more of a sterile
Once again, this is a recreation of that same shot from the original video, and I also still have the glasses missing, like the rim of the glasses. That's so weird.
environment to test in, so I made
Or
one.
wait, maybe. Okay, wait, hold on. Woo, almost knocked out my water. Okay, so a couple of days ago, 2 days ago, I watched through all 3 of these videos, and then I started recording the creator commentary. I might be getting a little confused here about like what I took mental notes of and what I actually did the creator commentary on. So this shot actually might not be from one of the early videos. This might just be from this video. And in which case, instead of saying I once again forgot to add in the rim of the glasses, fun fact that ruins this shot for you, the rim of the glasses are gone.
I needed a bit more of a sterile environment to test in.
Also, I don't know why. I forget why. There was some like weird reason. I accidentally like textured them away though.
So I made one. Over in the turbo nozzle level, I made an area that looked like this. Take note that all those Cheez-It looking blocks are all considered objects by the game.
You know, this is weird. This video keeps the angle of kind of going over my discovery process, when now I'm adding in, you know, already known research, such as barrel stacking. Barrel stacking is already known. Isn't it weird that I'm showing research for when I thought I was discovering barrel stacking? Like, I don't know, like something about that just feels weird to me.
And well, testing here didn't actually get that much of a result. However, I did find out about something that seems to not be very well known about.
Oh, I guess it is a chance to talk about the SOBDG, barrel stacking on the same object.
Well known at all. You see, if Mario places a barrel down on an object, then places it down somewhere else on the same object, then the barrel will teleport back to where it was originally placed. Now, this actually makes perfect sense in the full context of barrel stacking and how it works, and we're actually going to get to that right about now. So it was at this point where I hit a roadblock. I couldn't really figure out what
Very big whiplash in music here, by the way. Super hype, all of a sudden, Serena Beach.
was causing the barrel to teleport to any specific location, and I couldn't find any sources about it online. So I put my findings at the time into a video and uploaded it. And literally after the video was done uploading, but before it went public, I stumbled across this Reddit post. I'll spare you the somewhat negative feelings I was experiencing at that moment in time, but I will go over what I learned.
Idiot.
Somewhat negative feelings I was experiencing at that moment in time.
I love this.
I will go over.
I think this custom texture I made for this video, obviously it replaces the game over text with idiot. I think I still have this in my custom textures, so it's appeared like 1 or 2 extra times in videos over the years. Like you might have noticed it as kind of an Easter egg I just leave in, where instead of it saying game over, it'll say idiot. But that's the original context of idiot here. It's because I'm calling myself an idiot for not doing research properly.
For what I learned from the Reddit post, which came mostly from the comments. The first thing was this: for barrel stacking to occur, the barrel has to
I
first
wonder if
leave
there's
from
any names that can... No, not mind.
comments. The first thing was this: for barrel stacking to occur, the barrel has to first just be placed down. It doesn't matter if it's first placed on an object or not, it has to be picked up and then placed back down. Second is that once the barrel has been placed down for a second time, this time on an object, then it will teleport to where Mario was when he first went above the object. Notice where Mario is when he first enters the area above the Cheez-It block. Then notice that the barrel now teleports to where he was when he first entered the area above the Cheez-It block. So that seemed to be it. For a barrel stack to occur, Mario has to pick up and place down a barrel. Pick it up again, then place it on an object. The barrel will then teleport to where Mario was when he first entered the vertical space of the object. Also, just as a quick clarification, it seems that it's a common belief that barrel stacking can only occur on wooden boxes. This actually isn't true, as it can occur on any object.
Which, yeah, by the way, I think it's not so much that it's common belief that barrel stacking can only happen on wooden boxes. It's that the only use for barrel stacking was used on top of wooden boxes.
Stated. Just take note that for some objects, the barrel will inexplicably explode upon being placed. Now let's go note that for some objects, the barrel will inexplicably explode.
Yeah, this shot made me angry. This is why I'm angry, Max. Also, oh my god, dude, look at Mario's eyes, dude. That's like horror. It's like interlaced. What is that? Wait, hold on, dude. He's blinking, and the video compression or whatever like interlaced it, so half like lines of his eyes are still open while other lines of his eyes are blinking. That's creepy, man.
Placed. Now let's go over some small specific details on barrel.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot to talk about that whole like barrel thing there.
The barrel will inexplicably explode upon being placed.
I tried a couple of times to stack it on top of this, saw it was breaking, was like, oh okay, it just always breaks when on top of this basket for whatever reason. And then of course when I hit record, it immediately teleported up after it had broken like probably like 5+ times.
Now let's go over some small specific details on barrel stacking. Now this is something I kind of alluded to earlier while talking about the BCS. Even though for barrel stacking to occur, Mario has to place down a barrel, its top collision doesn't skew. This means you can't perform a barrel stack and a BCS at the same time, at least to my knowledge. Now, the other thing is that, remember how I said that placing a barrel down twice on the same object but in different spots makes it teleport to where it was first placed down? This actually makes perfect sense for barrel stacking, since once Mario picks picks up a barrel after placing it down the first time, that is where he first is above the object with the barrel. As for the last thing pertaining to barrel stacking, I just want to credit the original person who discovered this glitch, which is SB. They do Sunshine speedruns for a variety of categories, and along with that, they compete in the Super Mario Sunshine Bingo League. It was actually during one of those bingo games that they discovered barrel stacking on complete accident, and thanks to Average Trey and his video on the lowest percent channel that I mentioned before, as that's how I figured out it was SB who originally discovered barrel stacking. That information
Can barely hear myself
or
with
at
the
least
music.
was harder to come by than you might think. And of course, I want to thank Matthew. You might know him from various other videos on my channel as
You might also know Matthew as the co-creator of SMSO.
Master Matt K, and I'm thanking him for making that awesome metal cover for the Delfino Plaza theme for me.
Seriously, Matthew
Alright.
is such a multi-talented individual. Also my brother, I'm proud to say.
Well, that's gonna about do it for barrels. Unless I discover or find out about anything else that's insane with barrels, this is likely going to be the last video I specifically make about barrels. All my outside sources will be in the description. If you enjoyed this video, maybe think about leaving a like, commenting, and subbing. Remember, hit that bell, gamers. And also, if you're into... learning...
What is it about of saying remember to hit that bell, gamers? It just makes me laugh. Because I don't remember if it was Kaizo Highlights episode 1 or if it's the cutscene iceberg. I did the exact same bit. I don't know what it is about that bit specifically. It just makes me laugh while reading my script, but it does.
Random facts about Sunshine, or just are interested in seeing various different clips from my channels or live streams, consider subbing to my Clips channel. And speaking of live streams, follow
Clips
me
channel's dead, by the way. Don't sub to my Clips channel. I just upload George's clips instead
on Twitch.
on my main channel.
I just recently learned
Here.
how to run the any percent category for Super Mario
Yeah, 3 years ago. Dude, that's incredibly intriguing to me, and also a little bit sad that 3 years ago I learned the 80% category. Sad because I still only have a 120... I don't even remember my time, man. 125 or
and I'm
something.
just grinding it out on stream. That's gonna be it. Thank you for watching, and later.
And later. Just let the music play out here. Yeah, dude, that was... I loved having this guitar cover in. This guitar cover, actually. So, fun fact, we may have just watched the entire video, but I actually still have more to talk about, which is that, let's go to my channel.
Yo, water rockets?
No, what? This is not the episode about water rockets. Stop. Sorry. This is Sunshine Experiments, right? Why is Bowser so big? I call the Sunshine Experiments Mini. Why is Invisible Barrel Mini? Invisible. Sunshine Experiments Mini. The demo disc episode, Sunshine Experiments Mini, which demo disc I kind of actually still go back and forth on whether or not that should be called Mini or not. And then no Sunshine Experiments since the demo disc until the Rockets one, right? I'm pretty sure that's the case. I fell for probably one of the most classic and oldest traps in the book when it comes to being a YouTuber, which is feeling pigeonholed by yourself into a specific like category or a specific deal for your videos. So what do I mean by that? I felt like this was my highest production quality video for a long time. The editing, the voiceover, having a guitar cover in it of Super Mario Sunshine, starting the video off with like a little intro with music, you know, a compilation. I felt like this was like my highest production quality video for a while. And so when it came around to doing more Sunshine Experiments, I'd like mentally, because I wasn't like putting in all this extra effort like I did in this video, I felt like these videos like didn't deserve to be Super Mario Sunshine Experiments. They were just the mini episodes. I don't stand by that anymore. I think these just should count as Super Mario Sunshine Experiments, no mini. Even if this is only 5 minutes, even if this is only 8 minutes, they're still Super Mario Sunshine Experiments videos, just, you know, not as big in concept or whatever. What the natural fallout of that is that I didn't want to make more Sunshine Experiments for a while, because like I had set myself up for such big expectations when honestly this video isn't that good. It's okay, like, look, it's okay. But from me, present me, who's edited, you know, Cutscene Iceberg, and even this video right here, the Rockets video, And of course, pretty fly for a Sunshine runner. From my perspective, this is a bad video now. Doesn't mean I'm not proud of this video, because this video was a huge stepping stone for Angry Max. I think this was kind of the tone setter for everything that would come after this. All of the videos that I do nowadays after this one are tonally derivative of this one. This is, you know, like the pilot episode in a sense. So you can definitely tell if you watch, especially all the Sunshine experiments, that this was really a tone setter for what was to come on my channel. Even if I think it's a bad video, it is an absolute cornerstone to what I've accomplished today and will continue to accomplish, which is why I hold this video in a very, very, very fond place in my heart. Yeah, I think that's about it. Thank you for watching. Super appreciate all my tier 2s who are watching. It absolutely means the world to me that you have decided to monetarily support me. I'm eternally grateful. Later? Oh wait, I kind of forgot. I wanted the peace sign to be unique to every video, but I couldn't get a good peace sign from this video, and I didn't have time to like thumbnail it, so I just had to like rip it from the first video. So we're gonna make a new peace sign here now for this new creator commentary. I don't know why I felt weird doing that. Later, everybody. Yo, quick addendum to the end of the video. I just wanted to show off real quick some of the assets I used throughout the video, kind of similar to what I do with the thumbnail. So speaking of the thumbnail, the barrels redux, really unfortunate. I don't have the original paint.net file for this. It's like the only thumbnail that I don't have the original paint.net file for. It's probably one of the most interesting because generally speaking, if you go to any of my thumbnails, I kind of save some of the old stuff from, you know, previous versions. See, let's look at the Bowser thumbnail. Let's see if I can kind of demonstrate. Yeah. So you can see like the old background for this. That you can see there's like 2 Marios. There's an old Bowser. There was originally going to be a Super Mario Sunshine logo in here. Yeah, so I kind of like leave unused stuff in here. And this old thumbnail went through so many changes, this one right here, and it was super interesting, but unfortunately this PDN file doesn't open properly anymore, so I can't show you. However, what I can show you is that for some reason, the experiments here, I made my own custom goop texture. Even though I'm clearly using my own iteration of the fire goop, you know, here in the barrels, that's like the actual vanilla goop in the game, picture of it. But this is my own fire goop that I made. So I thought that'd be interesting to show off. Additionally, let me navigate my way over to this. Here are some of the actual assets. So this is a website called Sketchpad. And what I did is using certain tools, this is how I actually, you know, made the custom fonts. And this is how I still make, you know, with the custom quote unquote font. It's not really a font. I hand draw all the letters pretty much every time. So yeah, this is how I usually do that. You know, here's the theory, A and B. You can see some of the previous iterations of theory. Here's like the strike. It acts as a backdrop for some of the text, some of the credits. You can see the 1, 2, and 3. The 1 looks kind of funky here. Usually I kind of touch these up in paint.net afterwards. And this is obviously the backdrop for the logo. If we, you know, come back here. So yeah, pretty cool.